Ready? 1, 2, 3. Social media is one of the 5 key important factors in interpersonal communication. Whenever you think of social media, think about what brands and people you follow on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that. And think about how you're able to connect with them and see sometimes even how they live, from how they live their daily lives to what they're doing in the workplace, any of those things. You can connect in many different ways through social media. So it's actually a very helpful piece of technology. And you can see in this example right here, there are 2 airlines communicating over Twitter just for fun. JetBlue Airways says something about the good news with Southwest Air, and then someone even replies to say, "Are you guys friends?" And no, they may be friends, they may not be, but social media is just a way that you can connect with people that you usually would not connect with in ways that you usually would not connect with them. Just like there is good, fun social media, there is also bad social media, and you have to be very, very careful about what you allow the world to see, because sometimes social media is the only thing that people know about you and the only way that they can view you. So in this example, Amy from her baking company has a lot of negative vibes around about her in social media because of the way that she has responded to some comments made. She responded negatively to a Yelp review, and so that's not going to be good that's not going to be good for her company at all, because whenever someone writes a review, it's to help you better your company. And so with her responding negatively, it kind of just shows that she has no intention trying to better her company in the way that whoever reviewed it says, just because she doesn't respect their review. So for a lot of people to be able to see that out in social media, that gave Amy's baking company a really bad reputation just because they did that and it was out there for everyone to see. Also, it happens in other ways where it's not necessarily intended to be negative. For example, Kenneth Cole made a reference to his fashion line, but was connecting it into something tragic that had happened in Egypt. So there's a lot of different people on social media. Some people might think that that is funny, but some people are going to find that extremely offensive. What he said was, "Millions are in uproar in Cairo. Rumor is they heard our new spring collection is now available online." So some people took that as a funny joke and some people did not. And so that brings us to, like I said earlier, you have to be very careful about what you put in social media, because it's the way that the whole world views you, and once something goes out there, it cannot go back in. So there's one thing that we call committing a social media sin, and there are 7 stages to that. So using the example that I just talked about with Kenneth Cole, the first stage in the social media sin is a gaffe, and that is when someone makes a remark that they did not mean to be intentionally offensive, but it turned out to be that way anyways, and so it usually embarrasses the person that made the original remark. And so, like I just read, that is, Kenneth Cole didn't intentionally try to not shine a light on how serious the tragedy was in Egypt. He was just trying to, do good for his business, the only thing that business people know how to do, which is not a bad thing. But in ways, it can be, because some people are outraged. And so we had people writing back saying, "With respect, you were intending to make light of a serious situation and for money." So a lot of people think that that was really negative what he did, because instead of shining a light on the victims and things like that, he's trying to put the focus on his fashion industry. And, like I said, there are a lot of different people online. And really, it's everyone, and everyone is different. So you have to be very careful, and you also kind of have to be able to shed some of it off, because everyone is going to have something negative to say about what you say? Everyone. Or not everyone, but there's always going to be someone to say something negative. But in this situation, there were a lot more than just one people. It was a lot of people that were outraged with what he did. So, because so many people were outraged, it was only right as a proper businessman to apologize, which is the third stage in committing a social media sin. He made a public announcement. He made a public apology for one, and then he tweeted his apology saying, here, follow this link and you can see what I'm saying. So that was a really good business move, because a lot of people aren't going to hold that against him and not buy Kenneth Cole products just because he said that. Since he's now apologized, it's going to blow over, be out of the water soon. And then the next stage is parody, which is when you're so embarrassed at that point, it's like you can't do anything but just continue to make fun and make light of the situation. So you see Kenneth Cole tweeting, people of Australia, water up to your ankles? We've got your Kenneth Cole capris right here. Just making jokes, trying to help it blow over and make light of the situation. Then we're followed by the fifth stage, humor, which is also going along with the same thing. And this is what I mean by everyone is different and not everyone is going to respond the same, because these people did think that it was funny. This girl says, simply amazing. The handle Kenneth Cole has is both hilarious and really sad. Mostly hilarious, though. So Kenneth Cole did do a good job trying to add a little bit of humor and parody to his situation, because he did lighten it up, and it went over very well with his customers. And then here you can see they put the tweet in their store. Oh, it was a prank, but going along with it, just a humorous thing that helped their business out after, having such a chaotic thing happen on social media. And then this goes along with what I was talking about with indifference. It's the sixth stage. And, everyone's different. A lot of people were shunning him about what he said, saying he should feel so bad about himself. And other people are like, there's no apology needed. It was just a little comment made. People really need to lighten up. It's just Twitter. And that's one thing that I think people need to realize and really understand before you go on social media. Realize that it is just social media. And it's nothing to go crazy about. And then the seventh stage is repeat. So finally, another important way to use social media is to engage with your employees online. And whenever you have a big business with a lot of employees, it's very hard to get in contact with all of them and get their feedback, get their comments, how they feel, are they satisfied. So a very good way of doing that is to do it online. And employees can give feedback about the business. They can comment on management, say if they want to raise, they can say they want to raise, anything like that. So the internet really makes it a lot easier to engage with your employees along with the entire world, the business industry, organizations, companies, specific individuals, anything. Social media really is just an outlet to the rest of the world.